the BIMrx 3.2 release on the horizon, we wanted to show you how your workflows are improved with the new features in BIMrx Core 3.2. And before getting started, I wanted to let everyone know, and I guess a few of you already are aware of this, but if you have any questions, please feel free to enter them into the questions box, and we will have a short Q&A session at the end of the webinar to answer any of those questions. All right. So let's get started by introducing our presenters, which is just me for today. If any of you have been to any of our webinars, you might already know who I am. My name is Sheer Ehrlich, and I am the BIMrx Core product owner. If you know me, then you know before I was a product owner, I was an architectural consultant here at Microdesk, as well as a few other places, but mostly at Microdesk. And I specialized in both BIM implementation and Dynamo automation. So, you know, like many of you, as working in the consulting industry, I experienced firsthand the frustrations in working in just out-of-the-box Revit, which is why I originally taught myself Dynamo to automate those mundane tasks, which then led me, of course, to develop BIMrx, or help develop BIMrx. I didn't do it on my own, with our amazing BIMrx team. So I always like to start by, describing what BIMrx is for anyone who is new to the BIMrx products. We built BIMrx to enhance and simplify both Revit and BIM 360 and ACC. And each of our products here is really purpose-built to allow us to get projects out the door faster, so that we spend less time on what we like to call, these low-level tasks. This will allow us and open up the time to spend and focus our efforts on the things that matter most, like design or maybe even sustainability. BIMrx Core, MEP, and Fabrication are all built to be a part of Revit, while BIMrx Cloud Manager is our standalone desktop application. Like me and many other people who work on BIMrx, we are, from the industry. So I love to say that it is a suite of products that is really built and developed by AEC professionals for AEC professionals like you. But today we are here to focus on BIMrx Core, which is the foundation for all trades in terms of project setup, model management, and documentation. BIMrx Core has powerful commands and features that integrate with Excel so that project teams can create custom workflows that work for the entire team, not just Revit users. And BIMrx Core has commands and features that target all stages of your project, but is primarily focused on streamlining project setup, data management, modeling, documentation, and document management. From setting up the views in your project to managing Excel data, to tagging your drawings and creating print sets, BIMrx Core is built to work throughout your entire project lifecycle. In today's demo, I will be showcasing how we can use BIMrx and all of the new features coming out in 3.2 in all of these different aspects of the project lifecycle. So let's dive into that live demo and see how BIMrx works, or BIMrx Core works. Let's switch over to the live demo and just give me a moment to open up that Revit file. Here we have a model that we've just finished setting up all the levels and grids for. So next is to then create all the views of the new levels that we've just created, right? And we can use the new BIMrx Sheet View Manager, which has been completely redesigned for that project setup process. We can quickly set up all the views or sheets we need for our project using the view set configuration settings. We can set up all the different parameters we need, like the level associated names and numbers, the view templates for those views, and then all the different view types we need in the project with these view sets. These view sets allow us to customize all the different parameters we need for both views and sheets. Then we can come over to the Create Views module to create all of those different views we need. We can start by customizing our naming convention and then select which view sets we want to create, the levels, the scope boxes, and the phase for those views. We can then see the data grid update with all those different views that we're going to create. And once we are happy with the parameters and the information being applied, we can go ahead and simply hit Create. And this is going to create all 48 of those views at one time in just a few seconds. And we'll be able to see all those views created as we navigate to our project browser. Here we can see the floor plans we created, the reflected ceiling plans, the finished plans, furniture plans, working plans. Everything is right here, and it was so simple and easy to create. And now that our views are created, we can start to actually model our building. Once the building is modeled, bam, just like that, you can see that we can actually start to manage some data, because at the end of the day, what are BIM models? It's that I in BIM, inputting all that information, right? And Revit makes this, a little bit easier by allowing us to create a bunch of schedules, but it's still really difficult to input all of that information. With the BIMrx Extract and Update feature, we are easily able to round trip data between Revit and Excel from any Revit schedule, which will make updating all that data so much faster. Here we can select the schedule and simply hit Export. And this is going to export the schedule out to Excel so that either we as the Revit users can quickly input that information ourselves, or we can coordinate with non-Revit users alike. And once we actually save and export the schedule, we can then open that Excel file up and review the output. As we can see, it matches the Revit schedule perfectly. And now we can quickly fill out all this information using the power of Excel. Once we come back to BIMrx, we can then use our update feature and actually see that information before it gets updated. We have a new preview of that data before it's updated so that we can review it in case somebody else filled it out, and we want to make sure that that data is accurate. Then we can hit update and we can see how fast and easy it was to round trip that data between Revit and Excel. But BIMrx also has a few commands and features to update data directly within the Revit model, so we don't always have to go out to Excel to do it. And one of my all-time favorite features is the BIMrx renumbering feature. And a new option with the BIMrx renumbering feature is the ability to renumber by spline. Let's first use the BIMrx filter select to quickly select all these furniture elements that we want to renumber in our view. Then we can jump over and use the renumbering feature to quickly specify how to renumber the elements. And for the order, we are going to use the new renumber by spline option. This will allow us to quickly select the spline that we've previously drawn in our view. And there you go. It will renumber all those elements in the order of our spline. This new renumbering by spline method is really going to make renumbering our elements so much easier than ever before. And once we have our data updated, we are going to want to go ahead and start putting together that documentation set. And we're going to use the BIMrx Sheet View Manager to do just that. We are going to start by creating dependent views for each of the towers that you see in the model. This is going to be in our new duplicate view module here. And again, we can customize the naming of those views, same like we did in the Create Sheets and Create Views module. Then we can specify which views we want to duplicate. With these simple options, we can find the view, specify our duplication option, and then which scope boxes we want to create duplicates for. And it's going to create a view for each of those scope boxes selected. Then we can quickly use our copy rows option to quickly fill out all the information for all the views we want to duplicate. And then once we finish filling all of that out, all we have to do is simply hit apply to the data grid. Same as we did before. And like I mentioned before, it's going to make a view for each of those scope boxes. And see how it quickly created all those dependent views for our previously created overall views. And once our views are created, we are going to want to create all of our sheets. And again, we're going to come back to our Sheet View Manager, and this is going to be done through those configuration settings. We can customize our sheet naming and our sheet numbering, and then select which view sets we want to create sheets for and the levels. And then once we're satisfied with all of that information that we've applied to the data grid, we can simply hit Create Sheets, and it's going to create all those sheets for us in just a few seconds. And lastly, once those sheets are created, we want to use BIMrx to place all those views on our sheets. And for that, we're going to go to the placement module. We can do this all within BIMrx, just like in the other modules. But I also want to show you how the previous option of exporting and importing through Excel is still possible in this new version. Now, this is the same method that you're all familiar with, where you can export to Excel, quickly fill out the Excel file, like I have shown here, and then come back to the BIMrx Sheet View Manager and input that information back into that placement module. And it mimics exactly what we had in Excel. Here we can specify the sheet, the views, the viewport type, and the placement location so that we can easily place all our views on each sheet in the exact same location without having to open any sheets. And once we have all our views on our sheets, we are going to want to start documenting these views, right? And that's where the BIMrx tagging features come in. First is our tag settings. This is where we can set up all the different configurations for all the different categories we want tagged. And within each configuration, we can set up multiple tag symbols, specifying a location and an offset relative to the element. And a new option is the orientation option, which allows us to specify if we want these tags to be oriented via the element or the view. And once we're happy with our tag settings, we can use our BIMrx Tag Select or Tag Select linked elements, which works like the out-of-the-box tag by category, but using our BIMrx tag settings. Now, we also have a brand new feature, which is our Tag All feature. This allows us to tag all views at the same time. We can also set up different groups of these individual configurations so that we can use the Tag All features with multiple configurations at once. Then we can navigate to our brand new Tag All feature, specify from either those individual configurations or a group of configurations, use different filtering techniques to find the exact views we want tagged, and then once we've selected our configuration and views, all we have to do is simply select to execute. And this is going to tag all views for us without us even having to open a single view. You can see it processing at the bottom of the interface as it tags all the different views we've selected. And just like that, you can see all our views have been tagged perfectly, exactly the way we configure them in our tag settings. We can see here both the views on our sheets are tagged beautifully, and even if I navigate to a different sheet, all those views are tagged as well. This is really going to make documenting our drawings a breeze. Well, now that everything's documented, we may want to incorporate some non-Revit information like this Excel finish schedule that we've got right here. You know how we love Excel in BIMrx. All we have to do is set the print area of the Excel file, and then we can use our handy dandy BIMrx Create Table feature to either bring this Excel file into our Revit project as a Revit schedule or a Revit drafting view. For this example, we will do it as a Revit drafting view, which is going to recreate this Excel file into lines, text, and filled regions inside of a Revit drafting view, of course. We no longer have to waste time trying to recreate it in Revit ourselves. Just like that, our Excel table has now been converted into that Revit project. We also have this update feature you might have noticed, which will allow us to bring in or update these Excel files in Revit if anything has ever changed. And now that that's done, we can now incorporate onto our sheets and incorporate those Excel files into our documentation set with ease. So once our documentation set is complete, we might want to look at, adding some revisions perhaps. And this is where the BIMrx Revision Manager comes in, because it allows us to either remove or add multiple revisions to multiple sheets easily, filter by particular revisions, and even quickly create print sets of our revised sheets so that we can export these out to a PDF faster. And speaking of exporting out to PDFs, we can now use the new feature in the BIMrx Print Set Manager to print multiple print sets at once to a PDF. Simply select the action at the bottom of the screen or the UI to print. Then it'll pull up the settings where we can choose the printer to use, like Bluebeam. We can do it as separate files or combined files. And then lastly, select the file location. This is going to make it so much easier to get all our drawings out to a PDF. And there you have it. It's all done. Like I mentioned before, BIMrx is really built to work throughout that entire project lifecycle, from project setup all the way out to exporting these drawings to a PDF. So let's jump back to the PowerPoint to see what else BIMrx can do. But wait, there's more. Of course there's more. BIMrx Cloud Manager integrates with BIMrx Core to allow for the export of PDFs, DWGs, and NWC files from the Revit model on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. So remember how I just showed you how to create print sets with BIMrx Core's Revision Manager and even manage and export these PDFs with BIMrx's Print Set Manager? Well, now with Cloud Manager Pro, we can take those print sets and automate the export of PDFs either on demand or on a schedule. So this integration opens the possibilities for even more ways to automate your workflows like never before. If you have projects on BIM 360 or ACC, you would really benefit from the features in BIMrx Cloud Manager. Okay, enough about Cloud Manager. Let's jump back to BIMrx Core and see how it solves the inefficiencies within out-of-the-box Revit. With BIMrx Core, managing and creating sheets and views is made easy with the configuration settings or our Excel-based workflows. Not only can we leverage Excel to create sheets and views, but we can use Excel to quickly manage our model data and integrate Excel files into our documentation set with our extract, update, imprint, and create table features. And lastly, the BIMrx Core tagging features make documenting views so fast and easy, while the Revision Manager allows us to quickly add, remove our revisions, and create print sets of our revised sheets. Just take a look at some of these time savings. Really, the more elements you need to be modified or created, the more time is saved using BIMrx. And the real question is, how much time are you wasting by not utilizing BIMrx in your workflows? Now, of course, I didn't get to show you everything within BIMrx Core. Unfortunately, that would take probably all day. But BIMrx Core includes so many other incredible commands and features that I didn't get to show off. And I'm certain that you would benefit from not just one, but many of the features listed here. And I hope you got, a little taste of what BIMrx Core could do for you. And, with the new release, we are continuously evolving and improving BIMrx. And we would love to hear from all of you, our customers, about what features you would like to see in BIMrx. And we've made it even easier to let us know. You can submit your ideas for improvements or entirely new commands directly at our BIMrx website. I would love it if you guys would be a part of helping us make BIMrx even better. And just to note that this presentation is the first part of the BIMrx webinar series. So if you want to check out any of the other webinar series, like BIMrx Cloud Manager to check out some of that automation features, or even BIMrx MEP and fabrication, please check out our events page, and then you can schedule time to join those webinars as well. But of course, if you miss any of the webinars, I mentioned this at the beginning, you can check out our website or our YouTube channel to see the recordings of these webinars and learn about what BIMrx can do for you. You can read all about our existing commands and features, watch our videos, and subscribe to BIMrx so that you can stay up to date with all of the latest information. So that is the end of our webinar. I really appreciate everyone taking time out of your day to learn about the new workflows within BIMrx Core. Of course, if you are interested in one of the Microdesk team members reaching out to you, you can raise your hand and I will make sure that one of our teammates contacts you after the webinar. For more information on BIMrx, please visit the BIMrx or Microdesk websites. Here you can schedule demos, view products, and get in touch with the right people.